Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Danica, and today we are going to be discussing The Bachelor, so I know this is a little late. Sorry, guys. Not sure what happened, but anyways, this is a little late. But nonetheless, giving it to you, doing it, and you're probably getting this on the day that the show is airing the next episode. But nonetheless, I have nothing to discuss on the top of the episode. We're just going to jump right into the reason that we were here. The Bachelor Season 28, Episode 7, 6, 8, I don't know. I will get it correct when I label the episode. Anyway, I think this is going to be a pretty short episode, actually. I don't have a lot to really discuss from this, but let's get into it. So, we are in Jasper, which is in Alberta, and it's gorgeous. Jasper is beautiful. It looks like it's right near British Columbia. It's kind of where they positioned the little Google Maps thing. But yeah, I thought it looked beautiful. So Jen says that she wants to get naked and cuddle in the woods. Y'all, if you are morbid listeners, say it with me. This is something that they haven't said in quite some time, but it still stands. Fresh air is for dead people. And if you're naked on top of it, really dead people. So, nonetheless, we do see Jesse and Joey playing some more tennis. His tennis game is picking up. But let's just jump right into what to expect for this week in terms of the dates. So we have, as usual, 2 one-on-one dates as well as a group date. The difference with the group date is it's definitely a lot smaller than what we have seen previously. It's only going to be 4 women on the date. So the first one-on-one date is going to Daisy. So that's who's first. And Jen really is taking this really hard. She kind of hoped that she would have gone on a one-on-one date. It's been a while for her as well. And Maria's also really upset too. She's like, even though I had my date last week, she wants more time. She's like, if you're dating somebody new, don't you want to spend all the time with them? Of course. So I definitely understood that from her perspective. However, you need to be a little realistic. You, honey, are not going to get another one-on-one date when you just had one a week prior. It's not going to happen. So I think if she went about it realistically in her thinking, it would have been maybe a little easier for her. Spoiler alert. But we're not there yet. So it's date time. He mentions that she is the only woman who hasn't expressed her feelings towards him. All the other women have, but she has not yet. We're going to get a little context with that in a little bit. But they're going to go horseback riding. And I love horseback riding. I have done it once. It's so much fun. Except for being eaten alive by horseflies, but either way, it's still fun. But she admits that she is not there yet in her feelings for him. She says she likes him, but she's not in love with him. And she hopes that she can get there, though. She's hoping for it. So anyways, they ride the horse. The horse it's great. Peaceful. The scenery is gorgeous. And they kind of ride up right to a hot tub. And that's what they're going to be doing now, is going into a hot tub. And she says, when they're in the hot tub, like, either way, I am going home. Just hopefully I'm going home with you, instead of going home to never see you again until the women tell. But she tells him, though, she's not in love with him yet. And she says, like, I'm not going to tell him that I love him if I'm not in love with him. I'm not going to do that in fear of losing, of not getting a rose from him or losing. She's not going to do it. And I think, I mean, it's problematic for the show because that's not the show, right? But I have so much respect for her for not, you know, abiding by what you're supposed to do at certain points in the show. She's staying true to herself. She's being authentic to herself, and herself says, I'm not in love with him, and I am not going to tell him that I am just to make him feel warm and bubbly inside and to also get a rose at the end of this. And I love that. She is planning to tell him exactly how she's feeling. You know, I don't think she tells him that she doesn't love him here at the hot tub at all. I think I'm probably confused here, but she says like she is planning to tell him everything, how she's feeling. She is worried that if she tells him how she's feeling, he'll send her home. But you know what? If that is the way it went, for those who didn't watch the episode, I'm not giving anything away yet. But if that is the way it was meant to go, that she tells him and he doesn't accept that and he sends her home, then that was not the person for you. That was not the person for you. You would have dodged a bullet. So, anyway, meanwhile, back with the ladies, we're getting a date card. And this time it is the group date card. I realized I don't think I read the date card, from Daisy's. Hers says, let's ride off into the sunset together. That was the date card. Sorry, missed that. Gave that away. Anyway, yes, I went back to the group date card that they're getting. So on the card, we have Kelsey T, Maria, Rachel, and Jen. And it reads, let's take our love to the great outdoors. And yeah, that basically means that Kelsey A is getting the one-on-one date. Now, I actually didn't respect him for taking Kelsey A on this date, and here's why. The reason why I didn't respect it is just like he did with Daisy. It's been a long time since he's had a one-on-one with Daisy, so let me take Daisy on this one-on-one date. It seems only fair. Wasn't Jen around the next one-on-one that he had? Like, they definitely had the one-on-one back in California because of the day they went surfing, right? Yes. Yeah, they went surfing. So why wouldn't he take Jen on the date? Even if it didn't turn out the way he wanted it to, he could have just sent her home then and there. I feel like he definitely owed Jen a one-on-one date. Kelsey A just had her date back in Spain, so we're talking maybe 2-3 weeks before. Whereas, or if we go based on the timeline here, I'm not sure exactly, but if we go based on Jen, she hasn't had a date in like 5-6 weeks. Why wouldn't you give her that? I did have a problem with that. Actually, come to think of it, they went from Spain to Montreal. So Kelsey A would have been 2 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, instead of 3-4. I didn't really respect him not taking Jen on a date, even if you can send people home, if you're not feeling it. Like, I didn't like it. But anyway. So, back to the date. He asks, how are you feeling and where are you at? So, her family is very important to her, just to kind of, summarize here. Obviously, they saw her go through her illness, be very sick. Obviously, we know about everything, but she's like, you really don't understand how bad off it was. She had tubes coming out of her very sick all the time. So they're very protective of her, I think is the main thing we're learning here. And they want her to be happy. They want her to be in a relationship that makes her happy too. She's getting emotional, kind of talking about it. I think she did. Am I getting confused with Kelsey A? Who knows? She got emotional too. But anyways, oh, that's very important to her. But she also says, like, I want to be honest with you. I want to be transparent with you. I really like you, but am I there? No. She says to him, I can see myself falling for you. And he says, like, he would love for her to be there, obviously. Before meeting like her family. That's um, but also you can't force someone to be there if they're not there. He does tell her that he feels unsure about meeting her parents, though, if she isn't there. And she tells him, like, her feelings grow every time they are together. And she can tell, he's not comfortable with this conversation, but it is an important conversation that they do need to have and go accordingly. But he says, like, even though I wish you were there, and even though this is a hard conversation to be having, he does appreciate her honesty. He reaches for the rose, and he does give her the rose. So here's what I'm going to say, because I love Daisy, and I think they definitely have potential. I'm actually going to, at the end of this, I'm going to say who I think the top 3 is going to be. I think we're now at a point where we can start making some predictions. This time I know nothing. Last season with Charity, I did know. I knew who she picked. So I was spoiled. I knew who her top 4 was. I knew all of that. So this time I'm avoiding and I'm not looking. And I'm going to make a prediction at the end of who I think whose top 3 is going to be. And I'll say who I think his top 2 is going to be. And I'm going to say who I think he might pick. And I have talked about who I think could be Bachelorette, but I'm going to confirm what I think is going to happen because we're definitely getting there. We're about 2 weeks away from the women tell all. So we're getting there. So that's what I'm going to do. But I love Daisy and I want her happiness and whatever the happiness is. But when you have people who have expressed their feelings for you and you send them home, but you do keep Daisy hoping and praying that she gets there. What if she doesn't? And you would have wasted the time on a person who isn't there. That's, I don't know. I don't know if that would have been the right move. But we're done with that date. Let's hop over to the next one. Actually, before we do, before the next one, sorry, almost missed this. She does say that could this be happening? Could she be actually falling for him? Because they do end up going to a skating rink afterwards to play some hockey. Y'all, can I just say something here about the sport of hockey? I understand that hockey is a huge sport for us over here in Canada. We are so much more than that, though. Hockey wasn't even invented in Canada. Fun fact, basketball was invented in Canada. But we don't talk about that, though, do we? Anyway, let's continue. Actually, I don't know if necessarily basketball was created I guess how we play basketball technically was invented here with the basket and everything. I'm not sure if basketball was actually invented in Canada, but the fact that the basket has an opening was invented here. But anyways, moving on. Group date time. So, y'all, we're gonna learn how to become lumberjacks, or in this case, lumberjills. Fun. Psst, great. Maria is not excited. She is not an outdoorsy person. Same girl, same. And she's not about this. She says, if I'm not with Joey, I'd rather be by myself. Again, same girl, same. um, so they, do different things with the cutting of the woods and shit. And then we're just gonna move on to the obstacle. Actually, before we do the obstacle, at one point since we're on the Maria trope, she is learning how to do axe throwing. She's like, I'm not outdoorsy. I don't do this shit. Like, I don't. Maria, we do have axe throwing places in Ontario that you can go to. I believe like it's literally the same chain because I did it in Pickering. You can do it in somewhere nearby you. I'm sure there's a place in Toronto. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I think it's Battle Axe, I think is the name. And I think they have Battle Axes in America too. So you can go to a Battle Axe, which is indoors, and learn how to do axe throwing. It's so much fun, first of all. But when she's doing it, she's not even hitting it. She's like throwing it above the thing, throwing it under like aggressively. But then when she goes to do the axing the wood, cutting the wood, she's really challenging her axe murdering horror movies that she probably has seen and really getting into it. Actually, she's channeling the axe murderer in Fear Street because that's what he did too. I miss those movies. I'm probably gonna watch them soon. Yep. Yep. Anyway, um, so yeah, yeah, Camp Nightwing. That is exactly what she channeled. So yes, now we're moving on to the obstacle course. Now, here's what the obstacle course consists of. They first consist of um pushing this lifting the log, then doing the single axe cutting thing, and then they also then have to drink elk milk. Ew. Fucking ew. So they're doing, and obviously 2 different times, 2 different people are doing it. I think the first one was Rachel and Jen, if I'm correct. And I think, and it might have been, can't remember who Rachel did it with, but the main reason I'm bringing up Rachel is when she does all of it, my girl goes and drinks the elk milk. And she is allergic to, I think she said protein based products, like animal based. I don't know if she said protein based or animal based products. I think that's maybe more what she meant. Like maybe she has to drink like a soy milk, or which you shouldn't, or like a almond milk. That's what I do. And I think that's what a lot of people do, honestly. But yeah, she's straight up allergic, not even intolerant, but straight up. And she's about to throw up. And Joey's like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. That he said, so good. She was a sport about it. And then I think Maria and Kelsey go next. And Maria, poor girl, A for effort. She didn't win, but A for effort. But anyway, it's fine. And once we're done with the obstacle course, I think was it Jen who won? Or Kelsey T who won? Who won? I wrote this down. Yes, Kelsey T won. She won the obstacle course. So, because she killed it. So anyways, we're done all of this. Joey's giving an interview. And while he's giving the interview, Jen comes up to him and just starts kissing him because he sees her coming and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And she comes up to him and just kisses him and interview done. But here's the thing. Rachel saw it and Rachel's like, "What the fuck?" Or she thinks she said, "What the hell?" But anyways, then Maria also sees it. And as we know, Maria is spiraling already as it is. And she sees us, she's like, "I don't know if I can fucking do this anymore. I don't know if I can handle seeing him with other women like this. This is becoming too much for her." And she's questioning whether he should be meeting her family. She's like, "He's not only mine. I don't want to necessarily introduce him to my family when he is not mine." So, yep, not great. Moving on. Jen. Sorry, I'm ahead of myself. We're now at the night portion of the group date, and we're just going to kind of get into it. So Jen talks to him about not getting a one-on-one and how that's affecting her. She really wanted that time with him. Figured you would too. And she kind of talks about the fact that, like, I know when you're comparing how comfortable you are with all of the families, you're not going to be as comfortable with mine. And this is kind of sad, but she says that, you know, being, I think, born here in America, I think she's born in America, having that side of things, but then also having the fact that her mother is Vietnamese, born in Vietnam, and her not quite understanding the American traditions, probably really not understanding her being on the show, and how that may pose difficult for him getting to know the family. But he does reassure her that, "Listen, that does scare me. We'll see about that." But anyways, it doesn't scare him. At the end of the day, like, he's gonna put his best foot forward, hope for the best with the family. Um, and yeah, like that, like, he's just trying to make her feel like every family is different, yes, but I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure that I fit in with your family. So anyway, Kelsey T tells Joey that her dad doesn't even fucking know that she is on the show. Well, he does now, if he watches the show. So, or knows people who watch the show. But anyway, she ultimately kind of shot herself in the foot with that one. The only other thing here that I'm going to talk about before we jump to the big part of this is Rachel just kind of soft launches him into meeting her family by showing him a picture of his parents when they were first in love and how cute they were and all that. So nothing there to really talk about. Maria. She reminds me of a West Side Story. Girl, okay, oof. Anyways, Maria has her time now with him. And she says, like, "I am questioning whether or not I should be here." Telling him that this is tough for her. Um, meeting my family when I'm not yours. And, you know, I knew that I wanted you to experience all of these women so that when you picked me, it was just that much more meaningful. But fuck, this is getting hard, right? And She's like, it's hard seeing you have connections with these other women. And he says, but I also have a connection with you. He's like, you always discredit us. And she's like, no, I don't. And he's like, yes, you do. And you're doing it right now. So what? Actually, I'm going to wait because I do have a thought, but I'm going to wait. Because I think I did write it down so that I wouldn't forget it. But yeah, so she tells him that she did see him kiss Jen. And she says, like, I see the way you are with these other women, and I see how you are with me, and how similar that is. And she's like, I don't want to know. She's like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. And he is taken aback. He says, listen, we had such a great date last week. Like, I'm not expecting this. And he does say to her, like, it's not my job to pull it out of you or to force you to stay. Because I want to be chosen too. But here's the thing. So does Maria. So do these other women. You have to find a way, like obviously you can't pick one or the other at this point. You're not there yet. But you do have to find a way in some way, shape, or form where they feel validated by you, where they feel like they can be safe with you. I feel like this is maybe one of the first times where I'm actually seeing women verbalizing they don't feel chosen by the person who they're also hoping chooses them. So I do ultimately think Joey is doing a great job, but she's telling you she doesn't feel validated. She doesn't feel chosen. So find a way that is conducive to you, but also conducive to this process where she feels chosen and validated. That is all she's asking for. You can't just expect for one person to choose you when you're not choosing them. And I know he's doing the best that he can by saying, listen, if I'm choosing you, I'm all in. But that's not enough. They need something before that point too. Right? I don't know how he does it, but he needs to find a way to do it. And also I think a lot of this, I need to feel chosen, is an insecurity stemming from past relationships, stemming from charity. I understand all that, but you cannot bring the insecurities from previous relationships into the one you're currently trying to form. It's going to fall apart. So, yeah. So he says that, and he asks, like, so is this it? And she doesn't know. And she actually gets up and she goes into the other room to, I guess, collect herself, collect her thoughts. And we come back from commercial, and she says she doesn't want him to think it's him. She doesn't want him to think like she doesn't want this, and she doesn't want him because she does. She wants him. And she just, I guess, wants to feel like she's the only one, which is not possible. But, you know, he's crying, y'all. Like when she walks away, he's back tears. I did see some tears forming in his eyes there. Maybe one was trickling down his cheek. I don't know, but he's crying. And I don't remember if I saw him this emotional with Lexi. Because again, I have my theories, but I didn't see him get this emotional with Lexi when she left. But she says, like, it's just hitting me because this is so serious. Maybe I'm overreacting. Right? She's back with him now. She's like, maybe I'm overreacting. And I think she is. I definitely think she could be overreacting. And he says, I want you to, he's like, I want this to work. Right? Because, sorry, rephrase. Okay. He says that I want her to work through that side. He tells her this. That side that is overreacting, that side that is questioning all that. He wants her to work through all of that. And he says, because I love that side of you. Y'all, I know maybe I'm nitpicking at every little thing that he may say, because he hasn't even said the L word to anybody except Maria. Even if he wasn't saying, I love you, but he said, I love that side of you. He hasn't even said that to anyone else. I'm just saying, I'm going to grasp at every little thing that I can. And that's what I'm doing. Um, but he's like, I'm freaking out because like, he doesn't know what's happening. He doesn't know she's leaving. Are you going to? Like, what's happening here? And he says it makes him worried to be all in with her, to let, you know, those feelings grow if she isn't fully in or she's questioning things. She apologizes and he tells her, don't apologize. I just need you to believe in us. And again, this is the way they are with each other. It's just how you are in relationships, in any normal relationship. Because she says to him, I'm not going to kiss you. Because, like, I saw you kiss her, so, like, I'm not kissing you. And he's like, so you're really not going to kiss me? And then she just goes in for the kiss. And she's like, oh, well. And he's like, you're all over the place, woman. He loves this. He loves this deep down. Like, I do think, yes, I think what he's saying about being unsure and being insecure and her insecurities, I do believe all of that, but he fucking loves this. He loves the chase a little bit. But I think also it she's gonna constantly keep him on his toes. He's gonna constantly keep him on his toes, and I think that's exciting as well. So here's what I'm gonna say, because it's kind of at the end of their conversation now. But she does confirm she's staying. The way he talks with her is so different than the way he talks to the other women. I feel like when I see his connection and his relationship with Maria, it's very similar to my relationship in the sense of, or really any relationship that I've been in the sense of, they're going to put me in my place. They're going to make me feel secure, but in a way where they're going to say, listen, I don't like what I'm hearing you say. I am going to validate you here, but this isn't okay how you're feeling because it's how it's making me feel. Like, it feels authentic between them. Something that you just see in any other normal functioning relationship. And that is what is kind of refreshing about them. But I will leave it for there for a minute to like one of my theories. So ultimately he goes back to the group and he's supposed to be giving out the rose, but he says, I can't give this rose out yet. I need to think more. So he's holding on to that rose, which honestly makes sense. What are we going to do in the rose ceremony? If he did give out the rose, Jesse's going to come out and say, okay, here we go. We're going to start the rose ceremony. And they come right back in. It's okay, Joey, this is the final rose. It's the only rose for tonight. Okay, when you're ready. Of course, they're going to hold on to the second rose. But anyways, that's it for the group date. Let's get into the next one-on-one date, which again is with Kelsey A. So I'm just going to be exploring Jasper. We're seeing them going to a souvenir shop. They're going to get some hot chocolate, I think is what they were getting. Eating some s'mores, playing pool. Then while they're there playing pool, they meet this guy named Tom Harley, our typical Canadian. Okay? He says, listen, we got this little event happening called the Polar Plunge. The fuck no. Now, if you don't know what the Polar Plunge is, if you didn't watch the episode, basically, it's when you plunge yourself into freezing fucking cold water and stay in there, I guess, for as long as you possibly can. I don't even fucking know. And then come out and hoping you don't get hypothermia or something. It's so ridiculous. Anyway. So y'all, for my American listeners out there, we have this little thing called BT, which airs on City TV, which is actually the network that plays Bachelor to begin with over here. We do get access to ABC as well. We always have access to ABC, but we also have it on City TV. Now, BT, which stands for Breakfast Television, is basically this morning show, kind of similar to Good Morning America. We have that here in Canada. Now, I don't watch BT. My grandma used to. I don't know if she still does. Probably. But anyways, it airs from about, I think, 6 a.m., I believe, to about 9 a.m., 10 a.m. I think it's 9 because it usually, whatever time Live with Kelly and Ryan comes on, it's BT goes up until that exact point. So I think it's 9. Anyway, so I'm watching the show and I'm thinking, BT filmed this polar plunge. Give me a break. So I guess if anyone was watching BT and knows Joey, when this came out, you would have probably seen him running into the place and into the water with Kelsey or whatever. Anyways, so, but anyway, they're gonna do this. And Joey's not into this. He's not into this at all. Kelsey, all in. She wants to do this. She has been wanting to do this. So they do the plunge and she's putting her head in the water. It doesn't seem like she wants to leave the water. He's like, I can't breathe. So he's getting out. And yeah. Anyways, it's great. They got it done. Then they go into a sauna to warm up because that's what everybody gets to do, apparently. Not. Anyway, from that, we're going to move on to the night portion. So Joey does ask, like, what would it be like meeting her family? And she's like, hopefully you can meet all of the siblings and meet her dad. Like, she's acting like she not sure if he would be, but hopefully you can. And she does get very emotional about her family dynamic and her relationship with her dad, and with her mom's passing kind of seems to be really hitting her all at once. And she's getting very emotional because she is very close with her dad and hadn't always been, as I think we did know. So yeah, she was grateful for her father kind of stepping up when he needed to. And Joey really does think that her father sounds like a really amazing guy. And I agree. I really do. I feel like some parents be like, okay, yeah, sure, my wife died. But I'm still going to do what I'm going to do. And hopefully like family could step in and help. Where he's like, no, fuck that. I'm going to stay in one spot. My children need stability at the moment. They just lost their mom. He really stepped up, and that's really great. And I have a huge amount of respect for him because I don't know if every other parent in the same situation would have done what he did. And so he's great. And he does feel like he would be a really great father-in-law as well. So, yeah. But she gets the rose, no surprise. And he says he really wants to meet her family. So, yeah. Now we're moving on to the cocktail party. And all the women are there ready to go for the cocktail party. And as the women are talking, waiting for Joey to come to the cocktail party, we hear a door open and we hear ominous footsteps. And when I heard those ominous footsteps, I said, that's not Joey. And I was right. Y'all, it's Jesse. And we already know. When we see Jesse show up before a cocktail party is supposed to happen, that there is no cocktail party. And there is no cocktail party. And some of these women are flipping the fuck out. They wanted extra time with him. So yes, That's what's up. We're heading straight into the rose ceremony. So we only got those 2 roses left, which means only 4 people are going to be obviously going to hometowns, which is usually how it goes. Joey shows up and he says, he kind of see him staring at the roses, looking back at the women, staring back at the roses, looking back at the women. You can tell he's clearly conflicted on something. And he says, Maria, can I talk to you for a minute? Sure. It's great. It's funny too, because Rachel, as they're walking off, Rachel's like, I thought we weren't getting any more time with him. What the fuck? And I think it's Rachel's kind of like, so why does Maria get more time? But I'm thinking, Rachel, you're good. You're so good. Like you're getting a rose. I knew in this moment that Kelsey T was not getting a rose. And I knew Rachel was getting a rose. The conflict for me on who he was going to pick was between Maria and Jen. So let's focus on those 2 people. So he talks to Maria and he tells her, I like you. I had no doubts until you told me you were ready to fucking leave, And he's like, I need to know that you want to be here. And she says, listen, it was a moment of overreaction. I do want to be here. Yes, I am in my feelings about certain things, but I am here. I want to be here. And he is frustrated, for sure, because she chose in the moment of her hesitation to not stick by him in their relationship, but instead she wanted to leave. But I think he needs to give her a little bit of grace. She has dealt with a lot in this process, not just involving him, but she's dealt with a lot in this process. And it maybe was the wrong response, but it is the human response. And she responded. And she realized, shit, I shouldn't have said that out loud to him. Or just really out loud to anybody. I shouldn't have said anything to him. And I'm paying for it. But, give her a little grace with it. But I do understand from his perspective. But anyway, it's now time to hand out these roses. So the first rose, as I said, goes to Rachel. Duh. And then we're down between Kelsey T, Jen, and Maria. And he gives the rose, really and truly, no surprise, to Maria. Because he has the strongest connection with her, honestly. I'm going to put my theories out here, but as we know, going home is Jen and Kelsey T. So, obviously, Kelsey T didn't say anything when she left. Jen obviously was pretty upset, but she hopes that she can find a man who is close to the man that Joey currently is. So, yeah, now it's hometowns. We're going into hometowns and all the dramas that comes with that. Guess we're going to stick in Canada first and go back to Toronto. Go back east. I have to think about it. Going east, back to Toronto or Kleinberg. But anyway, here are my theories. I personally think his strongest connection is with Maria. There is a reason why he talks to her the way he does. And basically needs her to see their relationship for what he sees it as. Because I think really and truly he would be devastated if Maria left, more so than anyone else. I truly believe this is me. I think differently. Maybe others think another way. But I think I knew from the beginning when I saw when they met and they talked to each other that first night, there's something different about Maria. I could see him with her. I could see, oh, that's it. That's the one. I could feel it from even then. And that is why I think a lot of women went after Maria, because I think even they could see how perfect they look with each other and how they are with each other. I mean, obviously they're maybe not seeing all that, but the viewer anyways is seeing that there's something different about her. There really is. So here are my theories. We have our top four, right? We have Maria, Rachel, Daisy, and Kelsey. We only got one Kelsey left now, so just Kelsey. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think his top three is going to be Maria, Daisy, and Kelsey. That's who I think his top three is going to be. I can see he has this connection with Rachel, but it's just not where I think it should be. Honestly, I've always felt that. But anyways, that's who I think his top three is going to be. And who do I think his top two is going to be? Maria and Daisy. And I guess who he ends up picking at the end is Maria. That's what I think is going to happen. Those are my theories. I don't know for sure. They're just theories. I will do a poll. I want to know who you think he's going to pick. Who you think he's picking at the end. So I think we're at a point that we could probably do it now. Maybe I'll wait until after the hometowns, because I really think the hometowns really do solidify how things are going to be. This could change. So I'm going to wait till the hometowns and then I'll do a poll. I want to know who you think is going to win Joey's heart. Now, the other thing that I said that I wanted to do as well is, who do you think the next Bachelorette is going to be? I personally think Daisy is my top choice for the next Bachelorette. And I think, trying to think who we had in the top 6. If Daisy isn't picked, I think that's the top choice for me. I don't know who else could be. I would honestly say Maria too, if he doesn't pick her. It's kind of one or the other. Or, Lexi. I think Lexi could be in the running for Bachelorette too. Yeah, that's what I think. If they want to spice it up, they could put the sisters on, but I don't think so. That'd be interesting. It'd be an interesting show. So yeah, I think we could start that poll. Maybe I'll put both of them on at the same time. I want to know because I think, I don't know when we'll get the announcement of who the Bachelorette could be. Maybe during the Women Tell All. It really just depends. We've seen Charity be told when she was told. We've seen Joey get told during the final. Obviously, for obvious reasons, that had to be then. So I don't know who could end up being when we find out. But I think what I'll do both polls. Who do you think Bachelorette's going to be? And who do you think Joey's going to end up with? I'll do them both at the same time. So you can expect those probably at the end of the week, depending on when I get the next episode out. So yeah, but that is it for Bachelor for last week. But anyway, so if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps, every one of them, including you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there, and you can find me there at www.realityteatimes2, all spelled out, .podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel, Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. We are finishing up with our Black History Month series right now, so it's been great over there. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well, or you can also go to YouTube and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.